Alright guys, another short tutorial. I'm not feeling too hot, so I'm just gonna get right to it. So for this tutorial, as this map says, map name says, I'm gonna show you how to freeze cubes in midair in two different ways. So in this map, here's my standard 512 by 512 by 512 cube. A player spawn and two prop weighted cubes. Now for the first one here, just go ahead and edit output. It says on Fizzgun drop. This is a legacy name from the Fizzgun in Half-Life 2. On Portal Gun drop or on player drop. It's probably a better name for it. Anyways, when the player drops this, have target be !self, which means the cube itself. So the cube is going, when I'm dropped, I shall tell myself to do something. And what I want to tell it to do is sleep. Well, yeah. Sleep. Oh, I have a feeling that's not the right input, but, yeah. I missed some stuff on it, so. Yeah, so this second entry I'm looking at is on how to, on disable motion. So on Fizzgun drop, tell yourself to disable your motion. The difference between sleep and disable motion is as such. Well, more or less. Sleep pretty much means suspend all physics interaction until something happens to the object. So the cube will stay there until I bump into it, hit it with something, or whatnot. Disable motion is exactly what it means. It stops all motion and prevents any further motion. Now, I'll jump in and compile this. And once it opens up Portal 2, I'm going to check the console to make sure I have the right input. I haven't changed my FGD to account for the using sleep yet, so yeah, I forgot to remember which one it is. Ooh, 1176.5 FPS. Yeah. Not 4.4. Dang. So, this tutorial came about because in the Half-Life 2 deathmatch days when I started in 2005, started mapping in 2005, there were some maps out there where you could use a Fizzgun to pick up wooden crates and then run across a map by making your own path, and I never really decompiled those maps to figure it out, and well, here I am trying to recreate it myself. So this is the sleep cube. And this one over here is the disable motion cube. So as you see, I lift them both up and they both sit there. While I'm here, I am going to check the properties. Well, supported input-output for the cubes. So, we know sleep works. There you go, sleep right there, and wake. Oh. Just in case you're wondering why I do this, sighing. I'm double-clicking on wake right now, but it's highlighting input sleep, the line below it. This is a bug in the console. It's an annoying bug, because you double-click on it, it highlights one thing. Let's see, if I copy and paste, it pastes the thing I double-clicked on, not what it highlighted. In this case, wake, and it didn't even get the entire line. Input, :space, wake. It got wake, and then two spaces after the word, which doesn't make any sense when clearly there's no space afterward when it highlights it. Anyways, so the cube on my left, is asleep, the cube on the right has motion disabled. If I were to bump into the cube on the left, it wakes up and is back again. The cube on the right, not so much. So I can pick this up, drop it, and then I can pick it up again. Whereas on this one, I can't pick it up. Now, the obvious approach would be, well, clearly, or observation is, well, I don't have an enable motion. So, I'll just go over here, and the player picks it up, enable motion. Enable. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. You drop it, it freezes, you pick it up, it unfreezes. Yeah. Wait for it. Program's already running. Currently unavailable. Application runs. Okay. And as said on one of the YouTube comments, reload works just as fine. So yeah, we don't have to type out as much to get the map restarted. So again, this one's perfectly fine. I'm just going to bump it and it's good. This one, so there. I picked it up, I dropped it, it stayed in the air. Now, if I hit use again, in fact, let me turn on developer mode 3. So, you can see what it does on the top left of the corner of the screen. If I pick up a cube, there you go, input, received. Input, output, and nothing triggering on wake. Over here, if I were to use this cube, you see the use output going off, or input I should say, but nothing is happening. That's because when you disable motion on a weighted cube, it disables all interaction whatsoever, so you can't pick it up. There are a couple ways around this that I've explored. One is to have it re-enable its own motion after a set time, so after say 3 seconds. And that'll work, you pick it up and then it drops. That's not bad, but if you're looking for something like the sleep mode where you pick up the cube, set it where you want it, and then you want to hop on top of it, but when you do that it falls, so you go for the disable motion route, pick it up, you can hop on top of it, but you can't pick it up again. So, I kind of mashed a couple thoughts together in that last long sentence, so yeah. A way to get around this is to, okay, say, I only want this one input. For right now, just disable motion. I'm going to have something else drive the enable motion. And what that something is going to be is another prop. Well, it's going to be a brush, but a fizz box, so prop-ish. So I'm going to lower the grid size here and draw a cube around the cube. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's not a problem. So I'll go ahead and open it up, tie it to an entity, and let's make this a fizzbox. Usually the unique character string is YSB. There you go, Funk Fizzbox. Okay. Now, I'm going to make this not solid to anything. Go in so I can have both the cube and the fizzbox there. Disable motion cube is what I'm going to name the cube. And I'm going to name this fizzbox disable motion cube box. No, fizz brush. Brush. That way it doesn't get confusing. Okay. Next, I'm going to set its parent to the motion cube. Check the flags. Generate output on use. That's going to be important in a moment. Okay. I still don't know what this means. Exploitable by player. Explosively exploitable. I have no idea what that does, but I'm going to set it just to see if it does anything when I do this. When I get in game. Okay. So now, the way our output is right now, we drop the cube, it freezes in place, and you can't get it back. So, on this one, on, let's see here, on player use, the missing input, the magic missing input, tell this disable motion cube to enable its own motion. And then have this tell itself to disable itself. Go ahead and copy that input, click on the cube, paste, on FizzGun drop, tell the brush to enable itself. Now, so I cover some bases here. Let's repeat my command. Available outputs for prop weighted cube are fizzled on blue pickup, on orange pickup, painted awakened, motion enabled, on player use. Again, I just double clicked on player pickup. So I'm going to have set up a second cube and use on player use just to show you what happens. Frankly, because I haven't done it before. But anyway, let's drag this over here, clear its name of any and all crime. It is now a free cube. So on player use, self, enable. I have no idea if that's going to work. Considering I went to this method instead of that one before, that means when I did try this before, on player use didn't work. But we'll see. There have been a couple updates since then. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and compile this. I keep saying quick tutorial, and I keep going over the time. Yes, we're at 11 minutes, and you probably got a lot of scratching right there. That's because I picked up my recording device, my microphone. No. Okay, application already running. Reload. Okay, so I pick this up. I hit it again, and it drops. Okay, so it's not being picked up when I re-enable motion. So I have to hit it twice. And there you go. So I kind of be on the ball there. So pick this one up, drop it, and I hit use again, and yeah, the cube is not reactivating. Oh! That was interesting. I just got bounced off. But now there's some emergent gameplay for you. Well, because I have the fizz box and then the cube. Yeah. And look at the top right of the screen, I'm getting stuck inside the metal box. So, just some things you could do to mess with cubes. I don't know how you would use this in actual gameplay, but some things to mess around with. You don't have to limit yourself to cubes. As I showed, fizz boxes can do the same thing. Just need to fiddle with the I/O a bit. And why do I feel like you can set these 3 cubes up to be one of those impossible shapes? Anyways, that's the tutorial. It's not really a functional tutorial, just more of a think differently tutorial. Unlike some of my other ones. So, there you have it. Well, I would say if you have any questions about this, please send me a comment, but I think this is pretty self-explanatory, and you know what? If you find a good use for this, please let me know. I've seen this done before, so I'm probably not going to use it in anything of my own. Well, now that I said that, I probably will use it. Anyways, we shall see, and see you next time.